Good afternoon. My name is Peter Dobler and welcome to Introduction to Business Activity Monitoring with Athus Viewer. Today's topic is all about business activity monitoring, or short BAM, and I'll give you a quick introduction in this, how this all works. But first off, some housekeeping. Agenda today is introduction into Dobler Consulting, the sponsor of the webinar today. Then we'll walk you through the business activity monitoring and specifically how BAM works with Athus Viewer. Then we go into the exciting part, which is a live demo with Andre Balbarda. He's joined us today from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session where you can ask questions, and hopefully we have answers for that. On the housekeeping, on the system itself, you see there is a section for questions. You can't talk with us, but you can always put in a question into the question section of the system, and I'll do everything I can to answer these questions. The other thing is, if you don't see or hear us, can't see the screen or hear us, please raise your hand. There is a section where you can raise your hand, put it into the question, put it into the chat window, communicate with us. So I'm not always able to see that all of you can see it. My system right now reports back to me that you should be able to see the screen that says the agenda. Okay, that's it for the housekeeping. Quick introduction into Dobler Consulting. Dobler Consulting is a information technology company based out of Tampa, Florida. We are in business since 2000, and we are specialized in databases, specifically SAP Sybase, SQL Server, and Oracle. We are a trusted advisor for our clients. We have long-term relationships. We have really high-end consultants on staff. We work with large companies, but we also work with smaller companies, full spectrum coverage. You can read what we specialized in. Please don't hesitate, give us a call, go to our website. Information is at the end of the presentation available again. So that's just a quick introduction. Most importantly, for today's session, Dobler Consulting is the distributor of Athus in North America. So if you're interested in the product, please give us a call. Go to the website, any way you can get to us, and we can set up a free trial for you at no cost to you, no obligation. You can always test it out. But I'll get into this later when we have the live demo and how you can benefit from that. So without further ado, let's get into the business activity monitoring presentation. Athus Viewer is a product from a company called Control Data. Let's see, quick introduction here. The company itself was established 2013. It's headquartered in New York City, Manhattan to be precise. The main branch in Latin America is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The development site and commercial office in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The company has business partners in 10 countries, South and North America, and expanding into Europe. And the company, all the company is doing is dedicated 100% to Athus and the business activity monitoring. The worldwide client and partner base of Athus is such as Dobler Consulting ourselves, and you will see many other clients that that are coming up, just to give you a little bit of an overview who these are and where they're located from. So Athus is a software that's been around for quite a while, and it's distributed to many clients, very robust. It's now in 2.4, I believe, version, and then so the number of clients in total is about almost 2,000 clients. So there's a very stable environment for the clientele. Okay, let's get into BAM, Business Activity Monitoring. As per Gardner, here's the definition of business activity monitoring. It's also called real-time business intelligence or real-time enterprise. Essentially, it is access to real-time data flows and process flows to control and improve the speed of delivery of information. And the result is operational efficiency in the business. So that is the basic of business activity monitoring. The entire system itself is consisted of a set of, like, we have system information, we have BI, you have job scheduler, i.e. workflow, business process management. What Athus is doing, it combines all of them. It essentially links them all together and provides a overall view of your operational environment. How does it work? The software connects data and process flows. What's important is it is the users that are actually being monitored. It's not so much monitoring systems. There's a lot of system monitoring out there, but it's essentially monitoring the users and then connecting process flows and data to enable that. The best way to demonstrate that. The best way to demonstrate that is essentially, oops, what happened here? There we go. You have all these processes that go together. You have the user, you have the systems, you have the business process, and they're all like chain linked together, which essentially it takes one or the other to react to something. If you have business activity monitoring, you essentially take away these chain links and integrate everything into one system. And I'm not meaning integrating the data or anything. You integrate the monitoring, and each one of them impacts the other, and Athus can then actually monitor and detect what is going on. So how does the whole thing work? Okay, so you have the monitor. It starts with an activity. From this activity, essentially, you're looking at things like you want to find price deviations, overdue pending requests, user without permissions, proposal without analysis. There's all kinds of business processes that you want to figure out, and all of them have either a user associated, a process, a system, or something. There's nothing fully integrated unless you have one system and you only use one system itself. You may be in a better position to have a fully integrated system. However, you always have users, and users have to do tasks, and the tasks may not always have a system associated to it. They may do emails, they may do sending a file to somewhere, they have to use something else where they have to check something that's happening. So there's always a user that's in the middle of the whole thing. So how does this now all work? So you put this whole thing into Athus, it gets over there, the monitoring, and essentially then, oops, there we go. Then the data that is associated with it will be reviewed, and then out of that you have notifications. For example, there is a price deviation somewhere that triggered an alert in the system. The system may not be 100% integrated. There is another alert coming up that there are orders pending for whatever reason. And the system will react to this and alert. And alerting is typically done by emailing. Or important, that's HR terminated an employee. IT never got the message, so the Active Directory and system logins are still active, and the employee has accessed the system even though he's no longer an employee of the company. That's a serious security issue, and with Athus, that's probably one of the most critical things that you can do is linking HR system with IT without connecting the systems, which typically is not being done. But you get the information, and you can essentially block any or alert people that, hey, you missed this one, you need to lock this one down. If you don't have a system like Athos that controls that, how do you detect somebody logging in that's no longer an employee if you don't have access to the HR system? You don't. So that's your very important control that you have there. Obviously, there are some check proposals that's always happening. So it gives you an information on what's happening. If it doesn't clear, then it gives you a warning, an escalation, and so forth. Last but not least, the system will create dashboards, which allows you to, without waiting for information to come to you, it will essentially give you a quick overview of what's happening in your company. You don't have to wait for emails to come. You can just go in there. Things like a gauge here, or you have a traffic light, very popular. When everything's green, don't worry. If there's a red light, then you probably have to take a look at it. And let's go to the next. So where is this heading? Roadmap 2016. The idea of the Magic Quadrant here is all the BAM software leaders are in there. So they're all doing something. They're all doing something with business intelligence. But essentially, none of them is doing quite what Athos is doing. And this is a outlook into Athus Viewer 3.0, which will be out by the end of the year, 2016. Today, how it's working is you have the service, the schedule, and you have the plugins, which essentially the plugins are nothing but an API where you can write your own connectors to other software that's currently not built-in supported by Athos. But it could be in the future. The plugin helps you to essentially accommodate that. Very important, cloud is the most dominant topic today, and it will be moving forward. Everything is moving to the cloud. Today, Athos is only available on-premise, so you have to install it into your network. However, the software engineer understand that cloud is a must-have, and there will be a cloud-based solution coming out very soon. And I'll explain to you quickly how this works. Today, you have the schedule that invokes the service, and the service then connects to an ERP system. Or it connects to another service that then connects to a plugin and connects to to SAP, for example, or it goes to a service and connects to Excel. And you can see services can connect to services to schedule issues, everything, and keeps it on track. That's what works today. Now you have other systems in other locations that you want to connect with each other. So Athus communication comes into play. What this does is essentially a system-to-system communicator, secure communicator, which allows you to connect to other Athus systems that are connected to other systems, and which allow you then to create a one integrated system that at the end allows you to put this together wherever you are, all in the cloud, on-premise, in the cloud, or all in on-premise, or on-premise in multiple locations. So if you don't have, excuse me, network connections all over the place, that will allow you to breach that and get secure connections from one installation to another, and allows you to connect your cloud deployment with your on-site deployment and so forth. And because all the communication is handled by email messaging as well as HTTPS web connectivity to the dashboard and the controls, it is fully transparent where this all will work. Just give you a quick information on who we are before I actually switch over to Valparta and the live demo. You have questions, please go to our website, dobberconsulting.com. We also have another website that I will be hooking up with this recording that's called athusviewer.com. All the information you need about Athus is right in there. You go there, sign up for the free trial, no obligation, non-binding trial. Check it out, see if it works for you. Use it for a month or so, and if it works for you, good. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul. Just the license will be turned off. You can delete the software, and that's that. Give us a call. Phone number is on there, and we're located in Tampa, Florida. But without further ado, I want to switch it over to Valparta and the live demo. Valparta, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go.
Okay, hello guys, my name is André Valparta. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Just show the main things here in Athus. Peter, are you seeing my screen? Just
yes.
To be sure.
Yes, okay. I do. Yes, I do.
Great. As you guys can see, the main screen for Athus is the dashboard. I will talk about this later, but it's the first screen. When you log into the system, you can see. You can have multiple dashboards, so you can use different teams for the dashboard. For example, you can create a dashboard for accounting or a dashboard for production and so on. And everyone has different sets of dashboard. They can do their own dashboard. I'll show how to put things there later on. Well, just to show some settings before I go to the procedures and workflow, we have such different ways to use the users. You can create users, or you can integrate with Active Directory. You can put every user in different groups with different permissions, authorizations, and so on, see who can see what. And you can use different departments as well, just to keep things very separated and secure. You can connect to a different kinds of database, as simple as that. You just create a, you can insert here the IP or the host name for the database, the port, the catalog, depending on the database. We can connect to Microsoft SQL, Oracle using different kinds of connectors, like using Oracle driver or OLEDB or generic UDBC. You can also connect to Sybase, Access, DB2, MySQL, and so on. We are always trying to, excuse me, we are always trying to improve that, and if there is some database we don't have a direct connection, you can always use ODBC, but if you want to perform better, we can develop the connector and make it better for you. It's very common to companies have different branches everywhere in the world, so we are already ready to use time control for that using different time zones. You can just insert a time zone, create here, and the schedule will act according to that time zone. You can configure the plugins. Peter already told about that. Plugins are kind of API that you can develop your own stuff if you need. If Athus doesn't do it, you can develop your own stuff. We have some other settings here, but it's more for a deep talk. Anyway, the main stuff in the Athus is the procedure. A procedure is a collection of services that you can build in a workflow, and I will show to you guys 2 or 3 different samples of a procedure. For example, this procedure, what we do here, what is the problem? I think it's better we think the problem first. We have a client here in Brazil that have the following problem. He has a lot of branches, something like 500 branches. They are stores that sell different kinds of products, and they have a main system that every day in the morning send to all the branches the prices they have to work on in the day. But not always the people in the stores get that file and update the server in the store to work with that prices. And sometimes they advertise on TV a price, for example, $14 for some product, and in the store they are $18. So they have a problem with their image. So they advertise $14, but in the store they are selling for 18, and they just because the guy who received the file didn't update the system. What Athus did for them in that case, we got an Excel from the store that we can connect using FTP or go through the network if they are connected, get that file, and compare that file that was exported from the server and compare with our main database in the main branch. Excuse me. Anyway, here we import the Excel file. We got the file, the search for the file was uploaded file. We choose the file that was uploaded. We choose the sheet in the Excel, and it automatically get all the columns on that Excel file and import it to the Athus database. Then we connect to, in that case, it's a SQL database. We just select from, I'll just do a simple query, selecting everything from price list. That's a demo table, so it's a very simple one. You can type the query, or you can build the query just drag and drop the tables, whatever you like, just to be easy. You get those data, and it will cross, do a join using a multi-selection between the Excel file you got from the branch and the main database in the main branch. You cross those informations just doing a simple query that use the internal data from Athus. You get what is different, and you can alert the guy just sending an email with that information. That's the service, email service. You can send that information for just one person, to a group, a third party. You have different kinds of variables that Athus creates depending on the services there is on the workflow. You just put here in the body of the email all the information you want, working with those variables. It prepares a mail and send to you. I will run this procedure and get it from a mail soon. The information, it probably comes, there we go. Here's the information that Athus sent, telling me what the products are different in the Excel file and the main price they need to follow. So with this kind of control, it's very easy to monitor user fails, because we can have a lot of different kind of systems, but the users need to run that system to make it work. So Athus is trying to anticipate those fails and remember everything to the users. Another sample I want to tell, it's an audit service that we have that's very common, guys here in Brazil to use. That's a sample using salary table. So imagine that I do have a salary in my ERP database, and they got that table that has the incoming for every employee, and someone goes there and change the amount of they have to receive in the next month, and someone needs to be alerted when something change in a table. That's what this kind of service does. And as you can see here in the workflow, it's very simple. You create a select service that will get those data. You turn on an audit salary, an audit service that you just inform what select service is before, and you want to check for inserts, updates, and deletes. Inform what is the key. It's generally the ID column, and inform what kind of values you want to compare. And how does it works? It is scheduled to run every minute. I will do a schedule here for you guys. I want to schedule this every day from 1 o'clock in the morning to 23, and I want to run it every 10 minutes. You add this schedule, it will run every 10 minutes and compare the moment the new data set you got with the old data set you got, and it will compare across these two results, and if something is different, if something is new, or if something is missing, will alert, send an email. I will pass here very quickly in all the services we got, so you can know what it can do. We can do a select service. That's when you type in the query to get information from your Oracle, your DB2, your Sybase, SQL, whatever database you want to use, and get those information inside that to work with. You have a multi-connection select. That's a join between two different selects, and also you can join text files with queries from an Oracle, for example. You can join Excel with Microsoft SQL, and so on. The multi-connection select is a join between two data sets you got. Rerun variables, let's leave it to another day. It's simple but complex for now. You can import Excel files. You can import text files, CSV files. There is a tool to get the layout and get the information inside it. You can import XML files. You can use a decision maker. A decision maker, probably it's better to show here. We got one. A decision maker is a very simple tool. You probably remember I talked about those variables Athus create for each service, but you can also create your own variable to run before the procedure runs, and you can use a simple formula to set up that decision maker. For example, here we have an account, actual account of lines for the audit table for that audit service. So if the lines counted that are different or are inserted or deleted are more than 0, keep running the flow. Okay, it's very simple, and you can do a lot of things. You can do combined comparisons, like if my variable that I type in is different from 0, and my audit result is more than 3 lines, do this or do that. Well, you got it. Keeping on, we have the send mail service that we already saw. A file search. You can do a file search inside not only your the Athus machine, but if the Athus machine is integrated with Active Directory, we can do a search on every folder, every machine that are in the network. Of course, regarding all the security that we will talk about when you guys install it in your company. You can also download files from an FTP server. Sometimes it's very difficult to put some machines in the network, and but it's very easy to turn on an FTP, and you can get the files you need from that machine using file download and process those files in Athus. It's very common in our clients to use that service to get files from other branches. They always have a VPN connection. They open an FTP server there and connect to that branch server, get the files they need, bring to the main branch and process those files, and all automatically using Athus. You can always insert a plugin to run inside the workflow. You can search inside files. For example, you got that file from that FTP. Let's suppose it's a log file from a system running in the in other branch. Get the file and check in the log file if they have the word error. If they have the word error, please alert another guy from another place, and well, you got it. Searching files. File copy. It's very common when you are processing files, you need to get file from somewhere or get a result file that Athus can create for you, for example, an Excel or a text file that Athus can create based on a query you made and copy to another machine. That's what file copy will do. Audit table, we already talked about. Output. You can get all data sets you get from select service or multi-connection select. You can transform that in an output file. It can be a text file, CSV file, XML file, and send it to another person, send it in an email. Exit service will run a program, a batch file, or executive exe file in Athus machine and run and do something for you. Ping service is just a simple ping to know if something is on. Email distribution list, activity, advanced distribution list to do different distributions of emails to persons you need. Data metrics will store in history the results of a query of a data set using use it to build KPIs. Now we go to the widgets. widget chart will create a chart so you can plug in your dashboard. We can do different kinds of charts, line charts, column charts, area charts, 3D charts. We do different kinds of charts so you can use in the dashboard. Stoplight matrix, get information and build it in a lot of stoplights, or you can use stoplights from those decision makers. Drill down chart will build a drill down chart over another one, and so on. There is a lot of different services here. There is the Active Directory service that will connect to your Active Directory and get the information to cross with the information from a data set you got from human researchers and do that stuff that Peter talks about. Well, I think I was too fast here, but I believe I could show what Athus can do. And talking about drill down chart is that you got one chart over one chart to show more detailed data. Also, chart dashboards you can customize the way you need. Just put the things in front of the other things and all those fancy stuff to make your life easier. Peter, I think I show very fast, but enough to show our audience.
Great, thank you, Balbarda.
Thank you.
Great presentation, and I'm sure you just scratched the surface. I do know this tool has so much more to offer inside.
There is a lot more to show, but yeah. I try to keep it simple. Thank you.
That's perfect. What I would like to do is kind of open it up to question and answers, and at this point, the question would be something that I wanna actually ask. The question is, how quickly can Athus be installed? That's for you, Balbarda.
Yes, sorry, I muted my microphone. And
no problem.
I start talking with myself here. Well, if all the prerequisites are installed, we can turn it on Athus in about 1 hour, 2 at last.
Okay, great. And what are the requirements that we need to have to get Athus installed?
Well, to be simple, it's a Windows machine with a Windows server and Internet Information Services and .NET Framework 4.0 and the clients for your database. For example, if you got a Sybase, we need the Sybase client installed in the machine. It's about that.
Okay, great.
And also SQL server. That's the repository for Athus.
Okay, at this point we're using SQL Server Express, and as far as I remember, SQL Server Express is sufficient for a lot of events to run on. There's no need to have a enterprise database behind that, unless you're going into really a lot of usage on the system. I want to point out something. The free trial, you go to our website, athusviewer.com, and go click on free trial, fill out your information, and you will get a no obligation free trial sent to you. We would actually do the installation remotely for you through online meetings. It's very simple to do. All you need to do is download the software, you receive a license, and going from there. Balbarda, a quick question on the cloud installation, which essentially will then eliminate the installation of Athus in your network. You can run it from anywhere. So what would you actually need to run Athus in the cloud?
Well, Peter, we are working on that yet. Probably the best thing to answer that is in 1 month I can tell you better, and for sure everything we need. but
Okay.
probably will be a VPN, virtual private network installed between those servers to
Okay.
be secure.
Okay. Great. Um, as for now, there are no more questions from the audience, and as I said, this session is being recorded. You can get it from our website, probably make it also public available through our YouTube channel. We want to get the word out as much as possible on what we're doing here, but most importantly, get to our website, check it all out. There's way more information there, and you can view the the recording. You can view a quick video on how this whole business activity monitoring works, and then once this is all done, we will then set up a trial for you if you're interested, and we take it from there. At this point, Balbarda, thank you for your participation and the
Thank you, Peter.
live demo. Live demos are never easy, and I'm glad everything works. Usually, there's always a aha moment, but it kind of proves how stable the software is. There was no aha moment, and I hope I'll see you later. And please reach out to us if you want to see anything. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Peter,
much.
for the opportunity, and thank you all people there who spend some time to watch this presentation. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.